All right, everybody. Hope you're having a great Thursday so far. It's October 10th. My name is Katie Martin, and I'm a meteorologist here with the National Weather Service, and we'll get started on looking ahead to the next week of weather. So kind of our talking points, first and foremost, drought conditions have worsened across most of north and central Georgia. And not surprisingly, part of that has been the high temperatures, the heat. So high and low temperatures will range from 5 to 10 degrees above average through Friday night. We have a cold front coming through on Saturday. Many of us looking forward to that. Chance of rain will be starting on Saturday and will continue for each day after that, heading into the middle of next week. With that, very low potential for severe weather and no tropical concerns for Georgia. So starting off with the drought summary, this is the most updated information from the Drought Monitor. Extreme drought, or D3, conditions have expanded across the southern metro Atlanta area, that red bullseye color there. And areas of D2 and D3, and D2 being severe drought, both of those areas have doubled in size since last week's updated drought monitor. And all of that together, plus D1 conditions or moderate drought conditions, compose 98.2% of our NWS Atlanta forecast area. So most of our area, the vast majority of our area in at least D1 conditions, if not higher. And for more information, we have an updated drought information statement that you can go through and get some more detailed information about the whys and more information about the drought. Kind of an interesting tidbit here, how much rain would it take to end the drought? And this graphic is showing the approximate amount of rain we would need over the next 4 weeks to end the drought. This will obviously likely not happen, but just goes to show how deprived of rainfall we are. In the red, that's 9 to 12 inches needed over the next 4 weeks. Purple is 12 to 15, and blue is over 15 inches of rain in a month's time necessary to end the drought. As far as what's happening right now across the area, this is a satellite loop as of 11:50 this morning Eastern Daylight Time. Kind of a cloud deck across the northeast Georgia mountains, kind of extending into the metro Atlanta area. Otherwise, sunshine out there, high pressure wedging in from the north and east will keep our area dry today. And that surface map off to the right shows that high pressure kind of extending down from the Appalachian Mountains. So that has been our weather setup that's really allowed for slightly more fall-like temperatures for the past week or so. As far as fire weather concerns, it's that time of year, especially with the heat and the lack of rain. Minimum relative humidities through the day today will be in the mid-30s for a lot of central southern Georgia, across metro Atlanta, mostly in the mid-40%, and kind of highlighting an area where a wildfire is already underway. As we were made aware earlier today, Poplar Springs Gap in Fannin County, specifically western Fannin County up in North Georgia, that's where a wildfire is currently underway. That's denoted by that star in the little inset map there. As far as wind gusts, to kind of couple with that low relative humidity, wind gusts around 10 to 15 miles per hour for most of the area. Forecast-wise, mostly for temperatures, what we can expect today in the northeast Georgia mountains, generally topping out in the mid and upper 70s. Across the metro Atlanta area, up into northwest Georgia, low and mid 80s, with mid and upper 80s still hanging on across central Georgia, generally along and south of the line from Columbus to Macon. And tomorrow, Friday, not a whole lot different, pretty similar setup with cooler air kind of confined to the northeast Georgia mountains, whereas heading south, you see more of that transition from mid 80s to the upper 80s as you head farther south. Saturday is when the changes come. That cold front kind of superimposed there on the maximum temperature graphic. So the cooler air shown in those lighter greens across northwest Georgia. So high temperatures could possibly only reach the upper 60s for spots like Dalton up in northwest Georgia, Blairsville forecast high of 71, Atlanta upper 70s, still toasty across central Georgia as that cold front is a bit delayed getting to them until the afternoon once we've already had that peak heating of the day. And coupled with that cold front moving in will be some rain chances, only in the slight chance category for the most part, with kind of around the 30% mark, and across Atlanta more like mid-20%. So not an overwhelming chance of rain on Saturday, but we will have better chances on the horizon as we head into next week. As far as how temperatures are trending, a lot more fall-like. We'll be seeing temperatures falling in Atlanta from the low 80s again today and tomorrow into the 70s for Saturday, Sunday, even into Monday and Tuesday, upper 70s at that. Blairsville up in the mountains, a little bit cooler, some low and mid 70s as we head into the middle of next week. Macon and Columbus, a little bit slower to kind of enjoy the fall, more fall-like weather. They're still holding pretty well above average in the upper 80s as they head into the weekend, and then falling back maybe just slightly into the mid 80s as we start off next week. 7-day rainfall forecast, you can kind of see where the better rain chances favor higher rainfall totals, but higher rainfall totals, a little relative to say, still only around 3/4 of an inch to an inch and a quarter across northern Georgia. Those are the blue colors, mostly the light blue colors there. Across metro Atlanta and points just south, only 1/4 to 1/2 of an inch expected through the next week. And south of Columbus-Macon, even more sparse rain expected with perhaps at most just a 1/10 of an inch. As far as severe weather goes, the chances are very low. For today, Thursday, no chance of storms as we stay dry. And then Friday and Saturday, the Storm Prediction Center has us outlooked in just the general thunder. So if any storms get going, they'll most likely be below severe limits with just some rumbles of thunder and maybe some heavy rain for some lucky folks who could use it. Tropical weather, quiet. The Atlantic tropical season kind of haven't been quiet for a little while. Just a couple areas where the National Hurricane Center is watching, but the chance of tropical development in those areas is anywhere from a meager 10% to 20%. So very low chances. Georgia not expected to see anything in the way of tropical weather. Looking ahead to the next week to week and a half, fortunately, most of the southeast is forecasted to most likely see continued above average temperatures there in the orange shading, with the darker orange showing a greater probability. So South Georgia most likely going to continue to see above average temperatures. But the positive thing is that the Climate Prediction Center also has Georgia in around 50 to 60% chances of above average precipitation through the next 6 to 10 days. So hopefully some much needed rain will be on the way during that forecast period. So to summarize everything, we have had worsening drought conditions across most of north and central Georgia. For the next day and a half, high and low temperatures will still be around 5 to 10 degrees above average for most of our forecast area. And as we saw on one of the other maps for central Georgia, especially southern parts of our forecast area, those above average temps will probably continue longer than just into Friday. Cold front arrives from the northwest on Saturday. That will start a daily chance of rain that will carry over into the middle of next week. All that said, very low potential for severe weather and no tropical concerns for Georgia through the next week or so. As always, you can connect with us. We're on our website, Twitter, Facebook. Our briefing will be up on YouTube. We also have updated a PowerPoint and PDF file to our weather briefings page. Thank you so much for your time, for listening. And in a second here, we will see if you guys have any questions. Thanks so much.